one moment in my entire life where I felt that I am unbeatable. When I went for a parents' race after training for 8 months of milkha. Yeah.
I don't depend on anyone else to know what's happening in our marriage.
I find this one married woman very desirable. I never ever notice if Aduna has changed her hair. I never notice it.
Hi Vidya, hi Farhan, welcome to the
Hi,
show.
thank you.
Vidya, you said that this is the perfect film for two of you to be cast together. Why?
I think this required a certain amount of realness. And I like to believe that both of us are very real actors. Which is why I thought, and it's a relationship story. We've not been cast together before. So I thought it would be interesting for people to see us together for the first time in a film like this.
Yeah. Farhan?
Yes, she said it.
No, but what do you think? I mean, is this like the perfect film for the two of you?
Well, I mean, yeah,
together?
it seemingly has been that kind of experience. And I mean, yeah, when I heard the script, my first question immediately to Saket and to Pritesh was who's playing the role of Trisha? Because I mean, it's a film that's so categorically about these two characters and many scenes that they have together. And the dynamics of the performance that they were asking from me would depend hugely on who this other person is playing the role of Trisha. So when they took Vidya's name, I was very relaxed immediately about being in a film with her. I have admired her work for many years, and I feel that this was a good film for us to have collaborated on.
How was it sporting the baby bump, Farhan?
Well, it was
very interesting.
Yeah, to say the least. I mean, I have. In life, of course, I am a father, so I know the feeling of having children. I know the feeling of what, more or less, you have an understanding of what your wife is feeling, when she's pregnant. And there's many things that come with it, because your body is changing, there are hormonal changes, so mood swings happen, there are many things that go on. So I'm aware of all these things. So when I had to do it and play this part, it was fun to approach it this way because I don't think I'd ever approach it like this in my personal life. So it was nice to kind of also have a little bit of fun with it.
This film is like slice of life. So, while working, did you ever think, oh, this happens at home too? Did you, get a...
No, not like I said, this one didn't draw inspiration or reference points just from one's own personal experience. But you've seen, I've had girlfriends tell me that, but why did he have to go? I said, go if you want to, but he could have stayed back, I've heard these things. You've heard over time, men and women have similar arguments. Maybe different situations, but, or maybe similar situations, but reactions have been different, but somewhere or the other, you definitely find resonance.
But are you getting better and better as an actor? Do you think now when you take to direction again, you see a difference?
I think every single experience that you have helps you in whatever you do. So, I mean, it'll help me in writing, it'll help me in direction, it's going to help me in acting. And I mean, that's how it is. That's how you're constantly learning. At no point do I feel that, now I know everything there is to know about any of these jobs that I'm doing. And I hope I never feel that way.
But do you ever think in your head, like, I'm best at this? Now that you dabbled in so many areas of filmmaking.
No. I mean, I'll tell you honestly, there's only one moment in my life, in my entire life, where I felt that I am unbeatable. And that moment was when I went for a parents' race after training for 8 months of milkha. So when I went for that parents' race and I walked onto that starting line with all the other
You're obviously going to win that race.
That school, for the first time and the only time in my life, never before and never since, have I felt that, I'm the best. There is no way that I can be beaten. And it was a wonderful, wonderful moment. My apologies to all the other parents. No, seriously, I mean, I trained very hard, so they didn't stand a chance.
Vidya, tell us, how is it really working with Farhan? He seemed, compared to you, given your personality, he's kind of a little more reserved than you are. Is it true?
That's what I thought initially.
Like a man of fewer words than you, let me put it that way.
No, definitely fewer words than me. I think, beat him hollow at that game. But I will say that he's got the most amazing sense of humor, which was a revelation because I didn't honestly know him before we started working together on the film. He can make...
She just heard lots.
He can look at anything and come up with a smart thing to say.
Okay. How did you match up with her energy levels?
Well, I don't know how else to say it, but I mean, there's a momentum that happens on a film, honestly.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's a momentum, and it's very important to start off on a good note.
Yeah.
And like Vidya just said, like we didn't really know each other. I mean, we spent time once we knew we were on the film in readings and discussions like that. But I somehow, within those things, she had this capacity and this capability within her, I think, to make everyone feel really comfortable.
Yeah.
Around her, and me included. I felt very comfortable in her presence. And I think so it was just that. I mean, and then she's really good at what she does, and it's very inspiring when you're watching it that closely, and you're listening and you're going to react to it. So it keeps you very charged. So I mean, it was just kind of feeding off, this energy that's coming at you, and hopefully kind of sending it back.
You've been directing for so long, Farhan, and then you're acting, you're on the big screen. How do your kids react when they see you on the screen?
Well, they're a bit chuffed, I think. That's what happens to them. For them, the only film I think that they've seen Bhag Milka.
Yeah.
And they've seen Rock On.
Yeah.
I think Luck by Chance was a little bit too grown up for them. So was Karthik calling Karthik. So those are the ones that they've watched. Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara they watched. And for them, I mean, it's a kind of a novelty right now.
Okay.
I mean, it's just like they enjoy it. They enjoy the music a lot.
Yeah.
That's what they truly enjoy, and the songs that we've done, they enjoy that a lot more.
Okay.
But I think somewhere, I don't know, I guess, the younger one especially, and because she, all the friends that she's made, she's going to be 7.
Yeah.
So the way they kind of communicate with the world and with each other now has developed.
Right.
So for her, like the Bhag Milka Bhag episode is like a big one.
Wow.
Because all her friends have loved the movie, and their parents
yeah.
have loved the movie. So they always say, to her, like, your father played that role and this, that, and the other. And many, like, her friends tell her that actually I'm Bhag Milka Bhag, your father is not. They don't even say I'm Milka Singh.
They say Bhag
I'm Bhag Milka.
That's so cute.
They come and tell her that I'm Bhag Milka Bhag.
That's so endearing.
And your father's not Bhag Milka Bhag, I'm Bhag Milka Bhag. So she comes and tells me, he was
She
saying
comes
he's
and then
Bhag
fights
Milka
back.
Bhag. So but it's pretty cool.
The general perception, Vidya, of course, you haven't been married for that long, that, for celebrities to maintain their marriage is so difficult in the limelight because of constant speculation. You go to an event without your spouse, they're like, oh, she's come without her spouse. That's a general talk. So how do you,
I don't read anything, I don't watch television, so I don't know what people are saying. I only know what he and I share, and I'm happy.
Yeah.
So there goes. I really, I don't depend on anyone else to know what's happening in our marriage.
Farhan, what about you?
I think it's the same. I don't say I don't watch TV and I don't read papers. I mean, I do. But at the end of the day, I don't think that's going to decide what your relationship is. That you're going to decide between you and just one other person. And people will comment and people will say things. You can, really let that affect you. Then you just let it be. And at the end of the day, that's a part and parcel, I guess, on some level of what we do.
Right.
This
comes with the territory.
Yeah, this kind of curiosity about your life.
Yeah.
And then you just take it for what it is. But you can't let it affect you.
Yeah. How do you react to things when, now we have a huge fan following, Farhan, and women find you desirable, hot? How do you react to all of that?
Well, I react to it very well.
Yeah.
I say thank you, and I'm very grateful for it.
And with his
what
eyes
do you say
down,
about that?
he says, thank you.
Really?
And then he's very shy, I think, when it comes to compliments. Sorry.
In the last interview, I remember you said that how men find married women very desirable. What do you think, Farhan?
How men, they do.
As in, men generally
like
find
their wives,
married women.
Their wives are married women. So do I. I find this one married woman very desirable.
So sweet.
No, I do think, I've heard a lot of guys say, married women become all the more desirable because I think it's a forbidden apple in some way. And
yeah, it's cool.
Possibly like grandparents and grandchildren. It's like the joy of parenting, but without the responsibility.
Yeah, right.
But Shaadi will never restrict the kind of work you'll do, right?
No,
you did Dirty Picture right after you met Siddharth.
Yeah,
so
very
it was
much.
never an issue ever.
And Ghanchakkar was my first release after we got married. So, no, not at all. I am an actor. That's my work, and I love what I do. And I think Siddharth understands and respects that. And I understand and respect what he does.
Has there ever been any rules for you, Farhan? This is what you can do, this is what you will not do.
No, I mean, it's really not like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you personally have a conscience.
Right.
Which really tells you when you're doing something that probably may not be appropriate or may not be fair. And if you were in the other person's shoes, how would you feel?
Yeah.
So I think it's important to constantly put yourself in that other person's shoes and imagine life from that point of view. So I mean, there's no. I can't remember if Aduna has ever told me that you will not do this. She's never said it to me.
Yeah.
And neither she said you must do this. I mean, neither has that happened. But I don't know. I mean, I think you have to decide for yourself.
Yeah.
What you think is appropriate and what is respectful to the other person in a relationship, and always think of it from the other person's point of view. That how would you feel? I think that's crucial.
Tell me, as a man, what do you think women are most touchy about?
As a man?
Yeah.
I like that. Tell me as a man. Well, what are they most touchy about?
Yeah.
What are they most touchy about?
I mean, a lot of women, if you don't, don't appreciate the food,
No, it's not that.
Cooks,
Actually,
really
the one thing I must tell you, which I'm very bad at actually, which I've tried I try my level best, and every time something like this happens, I remind myself and I tell myself that, I must remember that this happened so I don't do it again. And inevitably it happens again. Which is, I never ever notice if Aduna has changed her hair. I never notice it.
And Aduna,
exactly. I mean, that's the first thing you really should.
She'll come into the room and we'll start talking, and then after maybe 15-20 minutes she'll go like, have you noticed I've done this to my hair? And I'm like, oh God, yeah, it's different. I just somehow can't do it. So possibly that's the one.
really bad.
Well, what can I say? I'm at least being honest about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Vidya, what about you? What are mentally touchy about?
I do believe that the way to the heart is through the stomach. I do believe it.
I think...
Yeah, don't use
Nothing really.
Don't use that toothbrush.
What about complimenting women? They make a very big deal about being complimented correctly by the men.
Yeah. I think everyone likes compliments. No, why just women?
But not, I mean, obviously women like to be flattered more than men, I'm sure.
No, there's no such thing, and men love being flattered.
Yeah, you like being flattered?
I think everybody likes it. If someone pays you a compliment, it's nice to hear.
Yeah.
How you react to it is different.
Yeah. Do you face that at home, Vidya?
do I like being complimented?
Yeah.
I love it. And no, I get my share of compliments.
You do. So what is the coolest thing about shooting this film?
The coolest thing about shooting this film, I think there were many things. I can't say it's just one thing. I mean, firstly, to start with, it was a really fun project to work on. I mean, it's truly a funny film, and I feel that it's a cool crew got together, a nice team got together, and I'm talking about cast, crew, everyone included. Just to make a film that would be fun even for people to watch. So for me, just the whole experience has been like a really kind of letting loose.
Yeah.
It's one of your let your hair down projects.
Yeah.
So it's been kind of nice. It's been easy on that level.
Yeah.
In terms of the kind of film that it is, because your main objective is that you want people, when they watch this film, to feel like you had fun even while making it. That's very important.
Vidya?
I think I agree with Farhan. It's been a fantastic experience in terms of it was light and breezy, and there was a nice atmosphere on set. I enjoyed performing those scenes, especially where there was a little bit of friction between us, because it was very, the way Saket wanted us to play it out, it was very real and believable.
Has there ever been a single day after you've been married that you wish, like, you're missing a bachelorhood, or I wish I was single?
No.
No?
No.
Really? Wow. And that's honest?
Well, I mean, you're asking me, I'll tell you honestly only, yes.
Vidya, what about you?
No.
Till now, you didn't question any of my other answers.
But it just seemed like a little unreal, that's why.
Really? Why?
Because I think everyone somewhere misses your single days.
I'll tell you in all honesty. Like, coming back to an answer that we question you asked me earlier, is as long as you're doing things with good intentions at heart, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The fact is that odd has never stopped me from going out with my friends. If
So
I
you do
wanted
all
to
those
go.
things too?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So I've never felt like, I wish I was not married so that I could go with my friends. It's never happened.
1 minute. I want to get back to what men are really touchy about is when you pay for a meal.
Oh, really?
No, I'm not just talking about my partner or Siddharth. I'm just saying men in general. So if you just pick out, you know.
I know many men who are very happy.
No, all the men I've come across say, "Arey, what are you doing?" And I'm like, even I can take offense, okay?
I'll introduce you to a couple of men who probably won't be that offended.
So are there any side effects of Shaadi really?
Everything has side effects. You know, every single decision you make affects your life in one way or the other. I think with Shaadi, most importantly, I think, again, very crucial is your intention. I think your intention is the most crucial thing. You know, if your intention is that you want this relationship to work, because every relationship has its share of ups and downs. There will be great times and there will be times where there will be a certain degree of friction. And to see that through, you have to have, your intention has to be good.
Right.
So if you're like, I want this relationship, it's special to me and I want it to stay the way it is, I want us to be together, you will ensure you do things to make sure that that happens. If that's not priority for you, you know, and if you feel for any reason that I'm not happy in this place, no matter how much you pretend that you're happy, it's not going to work out. It won't happen.
Vidya?
Yeah, I think it really depends on the individual. If you, like Farhan just said, if you want your relationship or your marriage to work, you choose to focus on the positives, or else you'll keep finding fault, or you'll look for an escape route. And so I really think it's about how badly you want it to work.
So are you really romantic in real life? What is the idea of a perfect date?
I am.
Yeah.
A hopeless romantic. I can see romance in everything, even in this cutter stand in front of me.
Interesting.
So for me, I can't really describe a perfect romantic moment, except that, you know, I love spending time with Siddharth, especially, and then to do something sometimes absolutely regular and routine, but I find romance even in that.
Fran, what about you?
And if he's out of town, you ever want to go out for dinner, please, I'll send the cutter stand.
Sorry.
What about you, Farhan? Are you romantic in real life?
I'd like to believe so, at least.
Okay.
You know, I think whether I am or not probably is Aduna is better equipped to answer that question. I'd like to believe that I am, of course, that I do things for my wife that make her feel special. I'd like to believe that.
But I think the flowers and chocolates kind of guy. You go with a bunch of flowers.
When you need to be. When you need to be. You know, but I mean, for me, like being romantic is more like taking your family or taking your wife and traveling somewhere.
Wow, yeah.
You know, and going to new places and having new experiences. I think as opposed to giving chocolates that will be over in 2 days, or, you know, flowers that will wilt in 3.
Yeah.
You know, so it's something like that.
It was super talking to the two of you. Thank you so much for being on our show.
Thank you.